I need 1,000 ounces to get my life on track.
I know we've had our differences, but I do want to see you make this work.
On a quest
Right now, the name of the game is gold.
to put his life back together.
It's the beginning of my new chapter. In layman's terms, she's
Rick Ness, known for his grit in gold mining, has faced his greatest betrayal yet. A trusted neighbor, someone close to his operation, stole critical equipment that keeps his dreams alive. This isn't just about a theft. It's about broken trust, shattered friendships, and a fight to reclaim what's his. How could someone so near take something so important? Let us dive into the shocking twist that forced Rick to take a terrible decision for his future. Survival tested in the harshest ways. The betrayal didn't just cost him tools, it cost him trust, a currency more valuable than gold in the remote, harsh environment he calls home. In a place where survival hinges on community bonds, the theft was more than a crime. It was a gut punch, a violation that threatened to derail everything he had worked so hard to build. The fallout from this event, emotional and financial, could not have come at a worse time. It's a story of loss, resilience, and the lessons you're forced to learn when those closest to you let you down. Before we delve into this, it's clear that this betrayal runs far deeper than stolen equipment, and what's uncovered next will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. For those who followed him on Gold Rush, it's clear he's not just about chasing gold. He's about building something meaningful with a loyal team. Mining is backbreaking, soul-crushing work, and it's not a solo gig. Trust is the glue that keeps operations running smoothly, whether it's trust in your crew or in the neighbors who share your rugged corner of the world. That's why the betrayal hit so hard. His neighbor wasn't some faceless criminal. They were someone he'd shared stories and beers with, someone he believed had his back. The signs of trouble started small. He noticed a wrench missing one day, a tool set another. At first, it seemed like the usual chaos of a busy work site. After all, things get misplaced when you're working against the clock and battling the elements. But the disappearances didn't stop. Instead, they escalated. Before long, he couldn't ignore the pattern and the sinking feeling that something more sinister was happening. When he reviewed footage from his security cameras, the truth hit him like a sledgehammer. There, under the cover of darkness, was his neighbor, boldly sneaking onto the property and walking off with his gear. This wasn't a one-time lapse in judgment. It was a calculated series of thefts that showed just how little regard this person had for him and his livelihood. Watching the footage felt like a betrayal on loop, a stark reminder that trust can be shattered in an instant. The financial toll of the theft was staggering. Mining equipment doesn't come cheap. Even replacing small tools can drain your wallet, but the loss of larger machinery was a devastating blow. These weren't items you could pick up at a hardware store. They were specialized pieces, some requiring months to replace. Every delay cost him money and momentum, jeopardizing an entire season's work. For someone whose operations run on tight margins, every dollar counts. The theft created a ripple effect, halting progress and putting immense pressure on his team. Productivity plummeted as the crew scrambled to adapt, and he was left grappling with how to salvage what was shaping up to be a disastrous season. The neighbor's actions weren't just selfish. They were reckless, putting livelihoods on the line without a second thought. But the financial loss was only part of the story. What really cut deep was the emotional toll. He had always believed in the unspoken code of respect and camaraderie that binds people in isolated, challenging environments. Out here, miles from civilization, you look out for one another because you have to. When that bond is broken, it's not just disappointing, it's destabilizing. His emotions ranged from rage to heartbreak as he processed what had happened. He had to face the fact that someone he trusted had exploited that trust for personal gain. It's not just about the gear, he said in a candid moment. It's about the principle. When you're out here, you depend on people. This betrayal isn't just a theft, it's a violation of everything we stand for. Confronting the situation wasn't easy. Reporting the theft meant involving law enforcement, a step he didn't take lightly. Small communities like his thrive on mutual respect, and dragging someone's name through the mud can have lasting consequences. But he knew he couldn't let this slide. The neighbor's actions had to be addressed, not just for his own sake, but for the integrity of the community. The legal battle that followed was grueling. Filing police reports, gathering evidence, and navigating the justice system consumed time and energy that he would have rather spent on mining. The case divided the community, with some sympathizing with him, while others downplayed the severity of the theft. The tension was palpable, adding another layer of stress to an already unbearable situation. Despite the strain, he found solace in the broader mining community and his fans. When news of the betrayal broke, support poured in from all corners. Fellow miners offered advice, tools, and encouragement, while fans of Gold Rush sent messages of solidarity. This outpouring of kindness reminded him that while some people will let you down, others will lift you up when you need it most. Using his platform, he expressed gratitude, sharing updates with his supporters and vowing to bounce back stronger. "When you're knocked down," he said, "it's the people who stand by you that matter. I'm grateful for every single person who's reached out." These words resonated with his audience, many of whom saw his resilience as a source of inspiration. The next part isn't just about getting back what was taken, but finding a way to stand stronger, even when things feel uncertain. Picking up the pieces after betrayal. Determined not to let the betrayal define him, he took proactive steps to protect his operation. He invested in additional security measures, from better cameras to stricter access controls. These changes weren't just about safeguarding his equipment, they were about reclaiming his peace of mind. Knowing his site was secure allowed him to focus on what he does best, mining for gold and leading his team through adversity. This experience, as painful as it was, became a turning point for him. It forced him to reevaluate who he trusts and how he runs his operation. While he remains cautious, he hasn't let the betrayal make him bitter. Instead, he's chosen to view it as a lesson, one that will ultimately make him stronger and more resilient. His story is a stark reminder that betrayal can come from the unlikeliest places. It's a cautionary tale for anyone who puts their faith in others, highlighting the importance of vigilance without losing sight of the good in people. Even in the face of betrayal, his unwavering determination and positive outlook prove that setbacks are just setups for comebacks. As he moves forward, he's focused on rebuilding and thriving. The theft was a dark chapter, but it's not the end of his story. With characteristic grit and the unwavering support of his team and fans, Rick Ness is set to turn this setback into yet another testament to his resilience. If gold mining has taught him anything, it's that the hardest battles yield the richest rewards, and he is more determined than ever to claim what's his. Still, this wasn't the first time Rick found himself staring adversity in the face, and it likely won't be the last. From his early days on Gold Rush, he's had to tackle every kind of obstacle imaginable. Faulty machinery, treacherous terrain, and the constant pressure to meet quotas are just a part of the job. But betrayal, especially from someone so close, introduced a different kind of challenge, one that tests your resolve in ways no equipment failure ever could. As the weeks turned into months, the impact of the theft lingered. It wasn't just about replacing stolen items. It was about rebuilding the morale of his crew and the trust in his circle. Mining is already a high-stakes game, where every decision counts. Losing time and resources to theft compounded the difficulties, creating a ripple effect that stretched far beyond his operation. Rick's ability to adapt in the face of this adversity is a testament to his unyielding determination. For Rick, rebuilding wasn't an option, it was a necessity. His livelihood depended on it. Taking a methodical approach, he began prioritizing tasks to stabilize his operation. First, he worked on replenishing the stolen equipment. Some tools were replaced through orders, while others were borrowed from fellow miners who sympathized with his plight. The process wasn't quick or easy, but it was a step in the right direction. Beyond the material losses, Rick also focused on repairing relationships within the community. While some locals rallied behind him, others questioned his decision to involve law enforcement. For Rick, the choice wasn't personal, it was practical. Allowing theft to go unpunished sets a dangerous precedent, especially in a community that relies so heavily on mutual respect and cooperation. He knew that taking action wasn't just about justice. It was about setting the tone for how such issues would be handled in the future. The process of rebuilding wasn't without its hurdles. Skeptics in the community voiced their opinions, creating an atmosphere of tension. Rick, however, stayed focused on his goals. He knew that dwelling on negativity would only distract from what needed to be done. With each passing day, he worked tirelessly to restore his operation to full capacity, ensuring that his team had the tools and resources they needed to succeed. Despite the challenges, Rick found moments of encouragement along the way. Messages from fans, offers of assistance, and small victories in his operation reminded him that he wasn't alone. These moments fueled his determination, serving as a beacon of hope during an otherwise trying time. Rick's resilience became not just a personal triumph, but a source of inspiration for many who followed his path. One of the biggest lessons Rick took away from this experience was the importance of vigilance. While he'd always considered his community a safe haven, the theft was a stark reminder that caution is crucial. Strengthening his site's security wasn't just about preventing future incidents. It was about restoring his sense of control. For Rick, knowing that his operation was secure brought a renewed sense of confidence and focus. As Rick continues his path, he remains committed to the values that have always defined him: hard work, loyalty, and perseverance. While the betrayal was a painful chapter, it didn't define him. Instead, it became a catalyst for growth, pushing him to adapt and overcome in ways he never anticipated. Rick's ability to rise above adversity is a testament to his character, proving that even in the face of setbacks, success is within reach for those who refuse to give up. Looking ahead, Rick is more determined than ever to achieve his goals. The theft may have slowed him down, but it didn't stop him. With the support of his crew, his fans, and the lessons he's learned along the way, Rick is poised to turn this challenge into yet another victory. His story serves as a powerful reminder that resilience, determination, and a steadfast belief in yourself can overcome even the toughest obstacles. After every problem comes a chance to show not just skill, but the determination to keep going when it's hardest. A hard road to mining success. He has carved out a name for himself in the cutthroat world of gold mining. From humble beginnings as part of Parker Schnabel's crew to leading his own operation, he has taken risks that have paid off big, sometimes bigger than even expected. And while the story is full of ups and downs, it's the ability to bounce back that sets him apart. Let's dive into the gold-filled highlights of this mining career and see how dirt was turned into millions. The path to gold mining fame started on Parker Schnabel's team, where the ropes were learned and a reputation as a hard worker was earned. But staying in someone else's shadow was never part of the plan. By season 9 of Gold Rush, it was time to bet on personal abilities. Running an independent mining operation was no small task, but the first season set a goal of mining 1,000 ounces of gold. Not only was that target hit, but it was exceeded, pulling in 1,105 ounces. To put that into perspective, that's over $1 million of gold in just one season. For a first attempt at independence, it was not just impressive, it was a statement. But mining isn't all glitter and glamour. Success came with a heavy dose of sweat, dirt, and relentless determination. By season 12, the stakes were higher than ever. Mining operations are expensive, and with bigger goals came bigger challenges. In episode 5 of that season, the crew struck gold, literally. Their hard work paid off with a payout worth $173,000. That haul was their biggest of the season and proved there was what it took to keep climbing the ladder of success. Later in season 12, the pressure ramped up. The landowner demanded that production be doubled, or the mining claim would be at risk. Talk about high stakes. But instead of folding under pressure, the crew delivered their most significant gold haul yet in episode 22. This wasn't just a big moment for the season, it was a career-defining achievement. The massive find allowed the land to be purchased outright, securing operations for the future. Owning the claim wasn't just a financial win. It was proof of becoming a leader in the industry. Fast forward to season 14, and challenges weren't letting up. Equipment breakdowns threatened progress. But backing down from a fight isn't an option here. Investing in a new water pump turned out to be a game changer. With this new setup, over $155,000 worth of gold was uncovered. It wasn't the biggest haul, but given the circumstances, it was a testament to resilience. Adapting to setbacks and finding a way to succeed, that's the formula. This career on Gold Rush isn't just about the gold mine, it's about the grit it took to get there. Mining is a brutal business. The hours are long, the conditions are harsh, and the risks are enormous. For every ounce of gold, there are hours of backbreaking labor, strategic decisions, and the ability to adapt when things don't go as planned. It's not just about striking it rich, it's about proving to oneself and everyone watching that there is what it takes to win. Throughout the seasons on the show, the story has been one of growth and determination. Each year brought new challenges, but obstacles were never allowed to define the path. From learning the ropes with Parker Schnabel to becoming an independent operator with some of the biggest hauls in the show's history, the path is a masterclass in perseverance. The ability to take risks, learn from mistakes, and keep pushing forward is what makes this one of Gold Rush's standout stories. The gold may glitter, but it's the grind behind the scenes that truly shines. In the unpredictable world of gold mining, it's been proven time and again that staying on top is possible. Whether dealing with equipment failures, high-stakes deadlines, or the pressure to outperform competitors, the focus remains unshakable. The numbers tell part of the story, thousands of ounces of gold and millions of dollars in payouts. But the real story is in the grit, determination, and heart brought to the table. The biggest gold discoveries may have turned heads, but it's the resilience that leaves a lasting impression. Before the golden success, life was already teaching him to stay strong and ready for challenges he couldn't yet see. From heavy equipment to gold dreams. Gold wasn't just struck, it was earned, 1 ounce at a time. The path is far from over, and if the track record is any indication, the best finds may still be ahead. Gold mining isn't for the faint of heart, but for some, it's more than just a job, it's a calling. As the seasons go on, one thing's for sure, waves will continue to be made in the gold mining world. Born on March 5, 1981, in Escanaba, Michigan, a blue-collar family that ran a construction company set the foundation for success. Days were filled with hard work, loud machinery, and learning the kind of skills that would eventually come in handy in ways never imagined. Alongside a twin brother, Randy, life was practically raised behind the controls of heavy equipment, picking up an intuition for machines that would one day prove invaluable. This wasn't just a job, it was a crash course in resilience. As a teenager, he had his sights set on football. He attended Escanaba Area High School, where he stood out as an athlete with serious promise. Football wasn't just a pastime, it was a passion. He poured himself into the game, excelling to the point of earning a spot on his college team. But life had other plans. A devastating head injury abruptly ended his football career, shattering his dreams of gridiron glory. Forced to pivot, he found himself at a crossroads, unsure of where to channel his energy and ambition. By the early 2000s, he had traded the football field for a new stage, the music world. In 2003, he moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with his mom, Judy Marie Bedard, a decision that would steer his life in a whole new direction. Music wasn't just a hobby, it became his way of expressing himself. A year later, he joined the .357 String Band, a group known for blending bluegrass with punk, a gritty, no-nonsense sound that suited his personality. He picked up the upright bass, and the band quickly gained momentum, releasing 3 albums over the next 6 years. Ghost Town in 2006, Fire and Hail in 2008, and Lightning from the North in 2010 solidified their reputation. The band toured relentlessly, playing to packed crowds and carving out a dedicated fan base. But by 2011, the road had taken its toll, and the group disbanded. Once again, he found himself searching for the next big thing. That next big thing came out of left field. While performing at the Southeast Alaskan State Fair in Haines, Alaska, he crossed paths with Parker Schnabel, a young gold miner who had already made a name for himself on the Discovery Channel's Gold Rush. At the time, he had 0 experience in mining, but what he lacked in knowledge, he made up for with sheer determination. 9 months after their initial meeting, Parker offered him a job on his crew. The transition wasn't seamless, but his background in construction gave him an edge. He knew his way around heavy machinery, and that made him a quick learner in the rough and tumble world of gold mining. His big break came during Season 3 of Gold Rush. The work was grueling, and the stakes were sky high, but he thrived under pressure. By Season 5, he'd proven himself enough to earn a promotion to foreman of Parker's crew. As Parker's right-hand man, he was responsible for overseeing operations and keeping the team on track. It was a role that required leadership, problem-solving, and a whole lot of grit, qualities he had been honing his entire life. For 6 seasons, he stood by Parker, helping to uncover impressive amounts of gold and solidify the show's reputation as a fan favorite. Was Rick Ness's betrayal a simple act of greed, or is there a deeper plan to sabotage his success? Share your thoughts and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.